Dr. Neruda had given 5 interviews a couple of decades ago, and his last interview, the fifth interview, it was published after some years. And in all these interviews, the entire history of mankind, that how aliens were interacting with human beings, and how in the higher realms of our existence the aliens are interfering, and actually according to their ideas our life is being controlled in some ways by some species of aliens, and all these aspects are very much controversial. But here the most important aspect is this, that Dr. Neruda has pointed out that there is the fifth dimension ascension of the earth, and the process has already been started sometime in the year 2000 to 2010, and it is a long process, and the culminative effect of the fifth dimension ascension of the earth is going to take place in the year 2030, and it has been explained in this interview, fifth interview, that most of the people of the earth, some people say that 80% of the population of the earth is going to be annihilated, and 80% population will be done to death, because in this ascension of the fifth dimension there will be the higher spiritual energy which will be available for all human beings, and therefore after 5D the complete life of earth is going to be changed. It will be upgraded, and because of this the sixth sense or the extrasensory powers and telepathy and some other higher experiences in the state of meditation, and due to the awakening of the third eye, all these spiritual assets and experiences will be easily accessible by the common people. But the problem is this, that only 20% approximately population of the earth is composed of such people, those who are capable of entering into the fifth dimension. And it is said that the 80% of the population of people, they are so much degraded because of greed and lust and selfishness and so many other vices of human nature, that these persons will not be able to enter the fifth dimension. And so it is said that there will be the destruction of these people, the 80% of the population, in a large scale. So because of this, some spiritualists and some persons who are having deep experiences of meditation and entering into the higher dimensions of life, and they also speak about the intergalactic federation, etc. So these people are insisting that there is a very bleak future for 80% of the people of the world. But if you look at this phenomenon from a different angle, then we should come to the conclusion that if there is the divinity or higher forces of life, of God or the Almighty, whatever name we may give to him, then is it possible that the superior or the ultimate power of this life, it will allow for the annihilation of the 80% of the population? Then our intuition, our own mindset, denies this. And if you look at this problem from a different angle, then these people say that there is a cycle of the fifth dimension, and it generally occurs after very very long spell of time, after 26,000 years. And they said that 26,000 years ago also this opportunity occurred, but at that time very few people of the population were capable of exercising their free will, and very few people actually deserved to be upgraded to the fifth dimension, and therefore the globe of earth did not find its ascension on the fifth dimension. But now it is said that a good number of people are capable, because of their spiritual inclination, because of they are doing meditation, because of they are going to exercise their free will to enter into the new realm of spirituality, that is called the fifth dimension. Because of this, the phenomenon of fifth dimension is going to occur. So when this cycle occurs after 26,000 years, then from the viewpoint of God Almighty, the average lifespan of people on the earth, let us consider that it is 65 years or 70 years. Then we can understand that after the fifth dimension, only in 70 years, all those people who are living, these 80% of people, those who are not capable of raising themselves to the consciousness of the fifth dimension, within 70 years all these people will die naturally. And therefore, from the point of view of God Almighty, all souls find their rebirth generally after 70 years or 100 years. And when the new souls are born during this phase of transition of the fifth dimension, then it is said that the new souls in their new rebirth, they have naturally this tendency to find themselves in a suitable conditions in the fifth dimension. And if it is so, then from the viewpoint of God, there is no need to annihilate this 80% of population, because gradually within 65 or 75 years, when all people die, including this 80% and those 20% who already they are placed in the fifth dimension. So when all people generally going to die according to our normal lifespan of 65 years or 70 years, then there is no need or requirement for the annihilation of these souls. It means the belief that 80% people are going to be killed by some natural calamity, because the followers of this Dr. Neruda, there are two Mr. Sarmas, there is one Mr. Bhatia, there is one Mr. Jagdale, Dr. Jagdale, and some other 3 or 4 persons are there. They claim that they have the capacity to go very deep into the meditation, and they have the first hand experience. They say that what is going to take place till the year 2030, and they say that only 2 options are there for entire mankind. One is the great reset, and the second is the one world order. So they believe that according to the plan of the New World Order, there is the objective of reducing the population only to 20%. So this may be the plan of the dark forces, but if we look from the viewpoint of divinity, then we can understand that within 65 or 70 years, when all people are going to complete this life cycle, then there is no need for the annihilation of this 80% of population. And therefore my point is this, that those people who have very deeply studied the 5 interviews of Dr. Neruda, and some of them also find that they have the capacity to experience what is going to take place by their meditation, and they think that in their meditation they are observing the visions of how great calamities like the earthquake, the tsunami, or some other disaster, or some climatic changes, it would be man-made or it would be nature-made. So this all calamities will occur on a large scale, on such a great and global scale, that only 20% of people will survive. So I think that they are mistaken, and in the point of view of divinity, gradually all people are going to be reborn. And therefore my appeal is this, that these people should actually consider that what spiritual experiences or visions they are seeing in the phase of meditation. They should understand that those people who have supernatural or extrasensory experiences or visions or predictions in dream, in meditation, they must understand that only 5 or 10% of these visions are true, and there is no guarantee that whatever visions they see regarding the depopulation, they would be true. And therefore they should also try to look at this great drastic change of earth from the viewpoint of common sense and from the viewpoint of divinity. They should assume that if they are very close to God, then they should assume that how God is going to make a plan of this. If there is a nature cycle that after 26 years such conditions are arising, that there is a great shower of energy from the cosmos in our solar system and on the earth, and because of this the 5th dimension is going to occur, then in this long spell, those souls who are taking a new birth, they will be easily finding the conducive atmosphere for the raising of their consciousness to the 5th dimension. Okay, thank you.